How's it going, guys? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to Steinsgate, Linear Bounded Phenogram. Last time we were here, we've been going down the Kurisu route, and apparently we're in a interesting intersection of the constant looping that Okabe does. He's had a very severe mental breakdown in this one. So severe that he was in risk of damaging himself, both mentally and physically. But we've had an interesting intersection. It seems that Mayuri and Daru have been taken by the Rounders, most likely. But Kurisu and Okabe and Faris were away, but they happened to all meet up together, like trying to figure out what was wrong with Okabe, and they made the discovery that they were likely taken. So now they're coordinating with Faris's dad, and they're going to try and figure out what happened to him and see if they can save them. Very, very interesting, because it looks like this is going to be a loop that Okabe is going to have a very small part in before he inevitably have to jump through the time loop machine, I'm sure. But we've learned a lot of really interesting tidbits. For instance, apparently, Kurisu's dad, before he lost his funding, was actually funded by Faris's dad, and they were trying to develop time travel. That deal ended up falling apart for, it wasn't detailed, but likely financial struggles on the part of Faris's father. And things just kind of moved on, but it turned out that in those early days, Kurisu and Faris actually spent time together. They were friends way back when they were 5 or 6 years old. So they had this really interesting connection they never even knew about. So it was a really cool episode, and now we're diving further into it. Just an FYI, I've had some life stuff come up, and so by the time you're seeing this, I'm already in the midst of the chaos. And I'm not going to have time to do my normal recording schedule. So this is all being pre-recorded, which means that I will be doing my best to answer your questions and your comments and everything, but I'm going to be behind. So if in the last video and this video you notice stuff and you comment on stuff, you're not going to see me referring to it at all in the next video or this video, just because the way the times happen. But it's mostly just me kind of trying to make sure my schedule is balanced, nothing to be worried about, and I'll be right back into it. Hopefully I've scheduled this all properly, so I should be able to just kind of keep rolling and you'll hardly even notice. But if there's a gap, I highly recommend you follow my Discord channel. You'll get all the good updates there. I update on the channel too, but Discord's the easiest place to get updates, and it's a fun place to be anyway. So hopefully I'll see you there. But let's jump back into it, shall we? So now we're at the top floor, and we are trying to figure out with Faris's father what our next step is in finding out the Council of 300 and SERN and the Rounders and all of that. Apparently they captured a Rounder, so we're going to see what that's all about. According to Yukitaka Oji-sama, this is what happened. While his manager buddy was in a bar thinking of a plan, a man bound in rope suddenly appeared lying on the ground out front. This man showed signs of severe physical trauma and was trembling in fear. As they interrogated him, he started to talk openly about being a Rounder. That's really weird. The one who brought the man to the bar was a woman with braided hair. According to the barkeep, she took off on a bicycle without so much as a word after she dropped her captive off out front. So Suzaha Cat One, that makes a lot of sense. The identity of this woman is unknown. Right. Regardless, this provided us with new information about the Rounders. Given that the woman offered him up like a present, it's possible that it may be a trap. However, still, the man revealed that the Rounders are divided into independent groups, completely unaware of the other Rounders' operations. The captured Rounder also told us that someone named FB is in charge. FB doesn't give the Rounders orders directly, instead choosing to operate through their underlings. Their objective originally was to secure an old PC called an IBM 5100, which Faris's dad is a big fan of. I wonder, now that we know he's kind of involved in all this, I wonder if he was a collector of old computers for more than just literal collections. I wonder if he is somehow tied to the Rounders. IBM's first portable computer, released in 1975, a single unit comprised of both a keyboard and a monitor, though it's technically portable, weighs about 25 kilograms. There's a special computer language that can only be used on the 5100, which is not all mentioned in its manual. This fact came to light through John Titor in the 2000s, when subsequently confirmed by IBM developers themselves. Now, I don't know if there's actually an IBM 5100 kind of thing, but this is based in reality. It said fiction at the beginning, but I think the computer and the name of the computer itself is not real. It's based on a real machine. As of yesterday, the men told us a special rounder task force from France had entered Japan. Their objective was to raid the Future Gadget Laboratory, securing the Time Leap machine and its developers. As for the captured rounder, his diversion was told to spread across Akihabara to prevent said developers, namely we lab members, from leaving the city. He also confirmed our fears. Mayuri and Hashida had been captured by the rounders and taken away though the man doesn't know to exactly where. Interesting.
君たちの作ったタイムマシーン、タイムリープマシーンか。そちら別動隊が確保する予定だったそうだよ。
It says task phase, but I'm guessing it meant force.
ただ、警備会社に知り合いがいてね。大檜山ビルは警備させている。それで様子を伺っていたのかもしれない。
Interesting. Which means coming to Faris-san's home was the right choice. Staying at the lab could have led to a confrontation with the Rounders coming to take the Time Leap machine. I shudder thinking about how that encounter would have ended.
Mayushiとダルニャンは一体どこに連れて行かれたの?
Ooh, we actually might have a decent idea now. We've been seeing a lot of these stories circulating around that secret bunker and the unused subway ruin underneath Akihabara. I bet you that's where they've taken them. Faris is driven to tears by her father's story. It doesn't seem like she can just stand by knowing that her friends are in danger. But it seemed like she had no idea what to do. Well, do you, Kurisu?
FB ってラウンダーさえ確保できたら。
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I'm thinking out loud, knowing full well how difficult that would be. We don't have anywhere close to the amount of information we'd need. I wonder how much information Okabe has at this point. Probably not much, because he hasn't undone the fact that Faris' dad is here, which is one of the earlier D-mails he tries to fix, if I remember correctly. We don't even know if this FB is in Japan or not.
こんな時に橋田がいれば。
I know I'm asking for the impossible, but I'm sure that Hashida's excellent hacking would be able to find us a loophole. Hacking isn't solely about remotely accessing a device or source of information at the computer network. It's about seeing through the opponent's security or passwords and outwitting someone else to find the route in. In that sense, Hashida might have been able to come up with a unique approach for the mess of a situation we're in, one that would defy the Rounder's predictions. But he isn't here. It's ironic that we need Hashida's skills in order to find Hashida himself. His contributions to the Time Leap machine were immense. He was a necessary component to our lab, just in a different way than Okabe. Aww. I try to brainstorm, but can't come up with any good ideas. Yukitaka Ojisama picks up the phone once more.
どうやら今の僕たちでは手に負えない事態のようだ。
In a way, he sounded a little defeated, but his expression was not that of someone who had given up.
パパ、どうするの?
ちょうどいい。ルミホにも改めて教えておこう。自分ではどうしようもないときは、誰か信頼できる人間に力を借りるのがビジネスの鉄則だ。
It's a good rule of thumb in general.
ちょうど僕がついさっき元締めに力を借りたようにね。人間はその個人だけで完結した存在じゃない。一人の人間の周りには、その人間を取り巻く人々がいて、社会があって、歴史がある。
Yeah.
その人間が過去から積み重ねてきた経験も、周囲にいる人々も、生まれ育った環境も、全部ひっくるめてその人になるんだ。道を示してくれた教授がいて、正一がいて、ルミホがいて、この秋葉原の街があって、今ここに僕がいるようにね。
Soichi, is that Faris' mom? Because of Akihabara. Yukitaka Ojisama continues to say this as the same. This is the same for SERN and the Committee of 300. No matter how powerful an entity each may be, they are not completely disconnected from the rest of the world. At least some of their number must have family members. They have connections to their country, the land, and the other human beings. Even America, for all its military might, cannot act unrestricted within the modern international society. It's always ragging on us. Even the numerous dictatorships that existed throughout history have connections. However cruel a tyrant may have been, they were not always able to exercise their will 100% of the time. And this is where their weaknesses lie. If the Committee 300 is some kind of European organization, then that must mean that there are Indian and Middle Eastern secret societies. Japan, China, and Russia also have their organizations and industries that can impact the international community. If those organizations can be led to mobilize in some way, even if we can't make SERN or the Committee 300 abandon or change their plans, we might be able to restrict them into making adjustments. Sheesh, this is like big brain stuff.
その結果が僕たちの望む結果につながらない可能性はある。それでも何もできずにただ座っているよりはマシだ。
Agreed. And with that, Yukitaka Ojisama started making calls. He mostly conducted his business in English, but occasionally would use languages I couldn't understand.
お嬢様、牧瀬様。
Faris and I were just sitting and watching Yukitaka Ojisama place his phone calls in a daze, but Kuroki-san's words snapped us out of our reverie.
こうしていても体力を無駄にするばかりです。今のうちに少しでもお休みください。
でも
Can understand Kuroki-san's perspective. If Yukitaka Ojisama intends to rely on his connections to take action, there really isn't much the two of us can do. However, given the situation at hand, I just didn't feel like resting.
クーニャン、黒木の言う通りだよ。少し休んで。
Faris says as she pulls my arm.
でも
クーニャン、わかってる？今自分がどれだけひどい顔色してるか。今日まと同じだよ。休まないと。
Aww. Huh? Pale. I didn't realize it myself, but I must look pretty tired for Faris-san to bring it up. Now that she mentioned it, I guess I did stay up all night. I didn't even have dinner. To top it off, there's a summer heat to deal with, coupled with a dire situation. That's a recipe for fatigue.
今日もやまゆし、ダルニャンが大変な状況なのに、クーニャンにまで何かあったらどうしようもないよ。キョウマを助けるためにも、クーニャンは元気でいないとダメ。
Boy, she knows how to push the buttons. Hearing it out loud, I finally realized how irrational I'm being. Faris-san's absolutely right. I can't do anything for Okabe and Mayuri if I collapsed. Reluctance, uncertainty, and hesitancy fill my heart, but I am a researcher who values reason above all else. So I should act accordingly.
わかったわ。フェイリスさん、黒木さん、ありがとう。少し休みます。
Yes, 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 good.
岡部様のお隣に寝室を用意してあります。ご案内いたしますので、こちらへ。
Oh, this will be good. Get yourself some sleep,
何かあ
girl.
ったらすぐに知らせるから安心して、クーニャン。
お願い。
After I thank her, I follow Kuroki to my bedroom and...
クーニャン
Oh, that's a strange new nickname. I couldn't sleep. Even though my body and soul are completely exhausted, my mind is still wide awake, and I can't fall asleep no matter what I do. I hate it when that happens. Tossing and turning in bed, I try all sorts of relaxation and breathing techniques to guide myself to sleep, but nothing works.
マユリ、橋田、
Bitch.
岡部。
Okabe. Staying still only invites unpleasant thoughts. My imagination runs wild with worst-case scenarios, each one making my body stiffen. I keep trying to shake the thoughts out of my head. Fetch. I do this all the time. I sigh helplessly. All I want to do is help my friends, but I don't have the ability to actually do that. For now, I need to place my hope in Yukitaka Ojisama and make sure I'm rested up for when we have some leads to follow. And I understand that I should understand it, at least, but it doesn't help. Not at all. I'm face to face with my own helplessness, my lack of experience.
自分ではどうしようもないときは、誰か信頼できる人間に力を借りるのがビジネスの鉄則だ。
It'd be really cool if they made a reference to like Maho, like make like a sneak peek of her future appearance. Yukitaka Ojisama's words from earlier echo in my head. These words were meant to explain our next steps to us, but also to give us a fair warning. there's always the possibility that we can screw up and make things more complicated. If our impatience got the best of us and we stormed out just to be captured by lingering rounders, all of Yukitaka and Oji-sama's planning would go down the drain. There's really nothing we can do. Our only option is to rely on Yukitaka Oji-sama, and the best way to help him is to stay put. This is how it should be, but...
私は結局何もできやしないまま
It's like the most frustrating place to be, especially if you're used to being able to do stuff. You're used to feeling accomplished and capable. I'm embarrassed by my own immaturity. I'm wishing for power I haven't earned like a child. People should strive to achieve whatever they can within the range of their abilities and experiences. By running society this way, each individual would be able to find their niche. If everybody had equal, limitless power, human individuality would be meaningless. I lived in America where different cultures are accepted and celebrated. Well, unfortunately not perfectly, but yes. I know how dull a world without difference would be. But at the same time, it's also true that I haven't matured enough to simply accept my place in a rigid society.
教授や先輩ならその未熟さも君の個性のうちだとか言うんでしょうね。未熟なうちしかできないことがあるって。
As I vocalized my thoughts, I realized something. Professors and upperclassmen. Once again, Yukitaka Oji-sama's words echo in my mind.
人間はその個人だけで完結した存在じゃない。一人の人間の周りには、その人間を取り巻く人々がいて、社会があって、歴史がある。その人間が過去から積み重ねてきた経験も、周囲にいる人々も、生まれ育った環境も、全部ひっくるめてその人になるんだ。道を示してくれた教授がいて、正一がいて、ルミホがいて、この秋葉原の街があって、今ここに僕がいるようにね。
Yeah. What if her dad came and helped? Wouldn't that be really weird? Considering how much of a problem he normally is? Like, that would be really interesting. I sit bolt upright in bed.
Soだわ.
Just as Yukitaka Oji-sama had his connections, I have my own. While I may come from a different background and age group than Yukitaka Oji-sama, I'm not alone. Papa and Mama, Faris, Yukitaka Oji-sama, Kuroki-san, my professors and upperclassmen at Victor Grandia, Okabe, Hashida, and Mayuri. There are many people around me, and if Yukitaka Oji-sama can reach out to people for help, I can too. It's just after 11 p.m. now, meaning it's morning in America. I quickly made a list of people I could ask for help. Given the time of day, I could only come up with 1 or 2 people, though. But then I realized something.
今日は確か教授の講演会の日だ。
This would be Leskinen, but I'm not sure which professor she's meaning. My timing couldn't be worse. One of my former teachers at Victor Grandia's Neuroscience Institute is presenting his research results to professors from other universities today. That alone is going to make him extremely unlikely to be answering phone calls or checking emails. What's worse, I couldn't even get a hold of my upperclassmen, who normally pick up in no time. I have no other personal contacts at Victor Grandia.
なんてこと。どうしてこんなタイミングに。
And then I remember something that Okabe said.
まるで世界の意志がマユリの死を望んでいるようだった。
Will of the world, time paradoxes. Is it possible that I'm also under the influence of this so-called will of the world? Oh, I like that background. I want to take a peek at it. It's just jargon, I think, ultimately, but it looks awesome. Okabe said that even the Rounders did not directly attack. If the Rounders did not directly attack Mayuri, will, for some reason or another, die. No matter how many times he repeated the day, no matter how many things he tried, it was imminent. The will of the world, natural providence. Okabe told me he felt something that could only be described as fate. Is this the same force that keeps me from reaching anyone for help no matter how hard I try? Is this the will of the world, as Okabe called it, hindering my actions? No, it can't be. I refuse to accept the idea that we live in a predetermined world. The idea that our fates are set is too absurd to believe, meaning that something is behind the phenomena, and if so, we can find out what it is and resolve it to escape this hellish situation.
問題はどうすればその原因を特定できるのか、どうすればそれを取り除けるのか。
Oh man. Yeah, there's literally 2 whole games about that problem. Is it even possible for me to solve this on my own? I tightly gripped the cell phone that I used to place on my calls. I tried as I might, I couldn't come up with a good idea. No sooner had I caught a glimpse of hope that it faded away. If this were mere research, I could simply walk away knowing that discovery is a slow process, but not this time.
どうしたらいいの？
I half opened my cell phone absentmindedly and see a certain word in the contacts list. Papa. Oh my gosh, he is! I tried contacting him a few days ago, but he refused to talk to me. But right now, I need anyone's help, and that person is Papa, then all the better. I entered his phone number and pressed call. Come on. Come on, but...
出ないか。
Dang it.
そうよね。
No.
どうせよね、こんな時間に。それとも、私だからかしら。
Papa doesn't like me. No, he may as well hate me. There's no way he would answer the phone for the likes of me. Oh, come on. Click. Dang it. I closed my cell phone and unconsciously pulled myself upright. I then proceeded to exit the guest bedroom and gently open the door to the room next door. I wondered if she was going to do a quick peek by. This room is also dark as the one previous, but from the sound of his breathing alone, I knew who was in there.
Okabe.
Aww. Gosh, she looks so sad. He looks very, very sad too, but she looks really sad, and I don't like that.
Okabe. ごめんなさい。
What should I do? Okabe's so worn out, he's suffered so much for so long, I want to save him, but I don't know how. I don't know what to do for the person I love. I'm completely at a loss.
何が？天才よ。私なんて。
I'm confident that I've been working my hardest the whole time. I've done everything I can and have even produced results. But at this moment, none of that has any meaning. I can't make Papa happy, can't save my friends, I'm useless to the one I love. I gently touch Okabe's cheek. There, that's a better one. Aww. He's so sad. Feels like he's lost weight somehow. He might have burned an extreme amount of calories working his brain at such a high capacity after receiving his future memories. Or maybe it's because after dashing out of the lab he ran all around Akihabara in desperation. Either way, it's a painful sight.
ごめんなさい。私、こんなにも無力だ。何もできない。
I noticed tears falling from my eyes. They land on my hand and drip down, wetting my fingertips on Okabe's cheek.
ダメ。嘆くな。辛いのは、一番辛いのは、岡部なんだから。私がここで泣いちゃう。
That's right. The one who's in the most pain, who has suffered the most heartbreak, is the one who has witnessed Mayuri's death over and over again. Okabe. But that means... An image emerges from the back of my mind. Interesting. I wonder if she's gonna try her hand at it now. The time leap machine. The time machine built under Okabe's direction. Right now, I can't think of a way to save Hashida and Mayuri. But what if I changed the past? What if I used the time leap machine to get us out of this situation?
ダメね。
I do not fully understand under what rules and logic are involved with traveling through time and changing the past. So far, though, our D-mail experiments we've learned that modifying past events can significantly change the world. However, most of us cannot perceive these changes. All of this information comes from Okabe, the only person with his reading Steiner ability. If he were lying about that or simply deluded, this hypothesis would collapse immediately. That said, the reason we've come this far is because I believe in his ability and claims. They're the basis of the time leap machine, after all. Even then, changes in time are very subjective and vague, and only Okabe is capable of observing them. That is an interesting thing, though. I never even thought about that with Mayuri, but like the idea is like, would you retain your memories of the other timeline if you used the time loop machine? It seemed like Mayuri kind of did, but it was a struggle. Like it wasn't fully formed. So there was a limitation to it. But it's interesting because it's hard to know why that would be the case. Because while the data would be traveling through the curved black holes, it should be effectively untouchable by, well, it depends on what the limits and boundaries of the time field and the timelines really are. But like the reason why the black holes really could work is that theoretically and understandably, time just doesn't seem to work there. The math kind of just gives us a big shrug whenever we ever try and like examine time in a black hole. And she talked about it in the main game, about the idea that when you go through if you used a black hole and you could somehow fling yourself through it past the singularity, like past the event horizon around the singularity and then out somehow, which is, we don't know how that could happen yet, but if you managed it, technically once you're in there, time can't be flowing properly because it hits this like again the event horizon. Like you get to this point where like time and space as we understand it would have to like effectively collapse in on each other and become one and the same. And then theoretically, if you can travel through space, you'd be traveling through time as well. And the math starts getting real funky about that. I don't know. It's challenging. It's very challenging to understand where all this is coming from. For instance, like, it's not really a theory, but like an idea is that like black holes are kind of what will save our universe or even propagated it, because the matter kind of goes somewhere. We know it radiates out as X-rays at some points, but at the same time, like we have no idea like what's actually happening in there. It's entirely possible that it is traveling through time and space simultaneously once you get past that event horizon. If that's the case, perhaps the initial shock that started and triggered the Big Bang that launched the universe was this super compressed matter that's collected through all the black holes of the universe, effectively making the universe cycling in on itself, where all the matter gets compressed into single points of singularities where time, space, matter, and energy are all just one again. And eventually when enough of these like masses collect together, it can trigger a supercharged matter explosion. But the thing is that we have no earthly idea at all. Like that's just like a possibility, and there's literally no evidence that you can ever find about it. But it kind of shows a good example of just how crazy black holes are. So if you can mess with them, it is conceivable that somehow you might be able to like circumvent the need for reading Steiner to get yourself back in the memories of your old life. But of course, your brain might not know how to interpret them anymore. So that for Mayuri, when she went through, it was like vague senses that she couldn't understand. Like she would feel waves of emotion that didn't make sense. And she would have these dreams that didn't quite connect and land with what was really happening. Anyway, in other words, even if I were to change the past, only Okabe would notice. If I changed the past, my memories would be erased the moment the world changed. And if they were, if Mayuri's life were put in danger again, I would not have the knowledge to keep her from dying. Given that she's already died over and over, it seems especially risky. The bottom line is, under the current circumstances, changing the past doesn't make sense without Okabe's involvement. Without the reading Steiner, changing the past is essentially meaningless. Only Okabe can do this, which would mean the burden is entirely on him.
いずれにせよ、岡部への負担が大きすぎる。何か他の手を考えなくちゃ。
Can't use time travel, but stuck in the loop. We know their eventual answer, but I wonder, like, I've never put some serious thought into like trying to figure out how I would handle this. I'm not sure if there is a way, and I'm not sure if I'm clever enough to think of another way. After muttering that to myself, I realized that the frustration I had been feeling just a minute ago has been somewhat alleviated. I still feel a little impatient, but it isn't clouding my thoughts anymore.
あんたの顔を見たおかげかもね、岡部。
Aww. I try to joke, but there's a ring of truth to my statement. Suddenly exhaustion and sleepiness come crashing down on me.
戻った方が良さそうね。一眠りして 状況を改善するためのアイデアを考えなきゃ。
Or you could snuggle with him. Maybe he'd wake up a little bit if he woke up next to you. I quietly move away from Okabe so as not to wake him up, then return to my own bedroom next door. Ah, darn it. Okay. The next morning, after waking up from a good night's sleep, I lightly freshen up my appearance and head to the living room. There, I see the exhausted Yukitaka Oji-sama, who looks to have stayed up all night making phone calls, and Kuroki-san, who stood by his side in support. The news is on the big screen TV, perhaps to provide them with alternative sources of information.
Ah, Kurisu-chan, ohayo.
おはようございます。どんな状況ですか？
あまり思わしくはないね。
Dang it. Seems that Yukitaka Oji-sama has infiltrated the Rounders organization through negotiation and compromise. He has been able to learn the location of several lower-level members as well as a few agents that pass orders along to them. In some cases, he's even been able to capture them, but has yet to obtain any information regarding FB or Mayuri or Hashida's whereabouts.
どうやら予想以上に彼らにとって今回の行動は重要な価値を持ったものだったみたいだね。情報の隠蔽や迅速な行動からそれが伺える。
Yeah, well, I mean, they don't want anyone muscling in their turf. Plus, they need Kurisu to actually attain their future. In front of Yukitaka Oji-sama lay several documents and maps with numerous red markings on them. A quick look revealed that these were not only maps of Japan, but of the Far East, Southeast Asia, America, and Europe. There were large-scale maps as well as more detailed ones. Several points had been marked with predicted locations, some of which it seemed had already been investigated.
普通はここまでやれば反撃に出るか交渉に出るかしてくるものだけどね。
Interesting. According to Yukitaka Oji-sama, the fact that they hadn't done either indicates how high priority their mission is. Sometimes, when prioritizing a single objective, an organization will consider all related losses necessary to its success. Yukitaka Oji-sama said the Rounders' response, or lack thereof, to his actions was in line with this strategy. For SERN, the Rounders' governing body, and the Committee 300 who controls them, gaining sole control of the time machine must be an uncompromisable goal. If one can control time, they can manipulate the past and redo any and all operations until their success is ensured. For them, nothing is impossible. As I said before, this is the power of a god. Who in their right mind would simply hand it over to someone else? If they wish to establish themselves as rulers of the world, their stance in the matter is a matter of course. The problem is, that puts the rest of the world at the major disadvantage. They won't negotiate with us. Unsurprisingly, Yukitaka Oji-sama is no longer calm and collected.
おじさま。
圧力をかけ続けてはいるけれど、あまり芳しくはない。このまま300人委員会と真正面から渡り合うのは得策じゃないが。
Although he said this, his expression told me that he hadn't ruled out the idea.
Papa.
Aw, Faris. Faris is best.
ああ、ルミホ、おはよう。
Faris-san made her way to the living room and seemed to grasp what was going on just by looking at Yukitaka Oji-sama. Sitting beside Yukitaka Oji-sama, she leans toward him and embraces his arm.
心配をかけてしまったか。でも、パパはまだ大丈夫だよ。
Aww. Faris-san looks conflicted. She's so worried about Mayuri, Hashida, and Okabe that she can hardly stand it, but she's also worried about her father working himself to the bone to save them. Perhaps Yukitaka Oji-sama is the type to push himself, whether fighting for his daughter's friends or for his beloved town of Akihabara. There are certain things he can't back down from. So it seems Faris-san is worried that he'll push himself beyond his limits. But at the same time, maybe we can't save Mayuri and Hashida without Yukitaka Oji-sama doing that. I imagine this is quite the dilemma for her. Come on, Faris, you can do this. Just roll your shoulders and we'll figure out something.
ありがとう、ルミホ。
Aww. Said Yukitaka Oji-sama as he crossed Faris's face, and then as he reached for the phone to contact another negotiator. A piece of news appeared on the flat-screen TV.
次のニュースです。本日未明、葛西臨海公園の近くの海で、ワゴン車が1台、海の中に沈んでいるのを釣りに来ていた会社員が発見しました。
The TV shows footage of Tokyo Bay. As the footage continues, a box-shaped van is pulled out of the water by a crane. The crane slowly moves the van over towards the land and places it on a blue tarp. For some reason, this makes me incredibly uneasy. Yeah, I'm a little over-concerned about Mayuri. I don't like it. Are my nerves being hypersensitive? Unpleasant thoughts rush through the back of my mind. There are thoughts I don't want to think, but I can't help it.
車内からは10代と思われる女性の遺体が発見されており、警視庁では身元確認を急いでいます。
They can't show that on TV. Oh my god. Oh man. Oh man. The inorganic, emotionless voice of the newscaster resonates from the TV, and then some of the items left in the car were displayed on the screen. Oh man. Faris stands up without a word. Her eyes open wide as she witnesses something unimaginable. A throbbing sound pulses loudly in my ear. On the screen were a recognizable hat and a green cell phone, both of which belonged to someone we knew very well. Faris shakes her head like a child would. I don't want to accept this. I can't. This is something I should have been prepared for. After what Okabe told me, I should have been predicted this. But neither of us were able to accept it. There was no way we could. Faris and I were both so stunned we couldn't take our eyes off the screen. That's why we didn't realize.
Mayuri?
Oh. Of course, this is when he wakes up. That he'd woken up and had entered the living room.
Mayuri!
Okabe!
I turned around to face the voice behind me. There was Okabe, whiter than a piece of paper.
Mayuri! 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 俺はまたああああ
Holding his head in his hands, he drops to his knees as if to repent. Hearing him scream as if his spirit had been torn from 1,000 pieces, I understood for the first time humanity's ability to vocalize such grief. But at the same time, his lament made me accept the undisputable reality of our friend's death. Okabe's scream was evidence that Mayuri really was dead. Up to this point, I'd been deluding myself into thinking that those items they'd found at the corpse were all fake. That way, I'd be able to say that I couldn't accept Mayuri's death until I saw it with my own eyes. But I was just lying to myself, pathetically trying to obscure the truth. The opposite of what a scientist should do. That's right, I understood the moment I saw the hat and cell phone on the screen. That our precious ally, our friend, was gone from this world, that I would never see her again. But I couldn't accept that, not like this. It's why I tried to say it was fake, to separate it from reality, to fool myself. But that's nothing more than shallow folly. The reality is before my eyes, the truth stands before me. I know that, I understand, I accept it. She's gone. Mayuri is gone. At the same time, I can't allow myself to be lost in grief. Both because of the scientist in me who still wants to maintain control of the situation at hand, and because of the presence of someone in a much deeper state of grief.
Okabe!
Beating his head with his fist and crying, Okabe continues to wail. I grab his hands, hoping to get through to stop him hitting himself, but he quickly breaks out of my grasp.
どうしてマユリだった。タイムマシンを作ったのは俺だ。俺を罰すればいいだろう。俺を殺せばいいだろう。どうしてだ。なぜマユリなんだ。
Oh, my heart can't take this. He screams into the void, cursing the Rounders and SERN. His screams held such pain, it felt as though they could tear apart the heart of whoever heard them. Though no matter how much pain his listeners felt, his pain was much worse.
やめて、岡部！このままじゃ岡部自身が壊れちゃう！
I couldn't take it. I hated seeing the person I love reduced to this. Seeing the person I love in such pain. Is there something I can do for him? Anything? Why can't I help alleviate his pain? Helplessness and despair consume my heart. These are not my own feelings, they're Okabe's. His voice alone fills me with agony and grief. Faris and I couldn't do anything for Okabe but embrace him. It was all I had left in us.
失礼いたします。
Kuroki-san extends his hand. Suddenly, Okabe slumps to the ground unconscious, just as he did yesterday.
こう連続で眠らせるのは良くないのですが、このままの方がよほど危ないかと思いますので。
We simply hold on to Okabe in silence, shaking our heads. Kuroki-san seems apologetic, but he provided Okabe with more peace than we could. We have no right to object. This is how useless we are, our combined experiences, my genius status. None of that means anything right now. Just as Okabe laments being unable to save Mayuri, I'm unable to save Okabe. Can't even start I'm guessing it's supposed to be alleviate his pain? The translation is a little wonky. If only I had Okabe's reading Steiner ability, I could use the timely machine to change places with him. But even that is nothing but a wish.
Okabe.
I hold on to him, muttering his name over and over as he's done with Mayuri only moments before. I can sense Yukitaka Oji-sama and Kuroki-san's concerned eyes on me, but this is all I can bring myself to do. Holy crap. My cell phone rings and snaps me out of it.
Papa.
また。
岡部を助けて！岡部！
Shit, man. You better freaking respond to that.
何を？
助けて！お願い！私じゃ岡部を好きな人を助けることができないの？
Feeling useless and awash with despair, I break down sobbing and crying the moment I hear Papa's voice. Not because of the trauma, trepidation, and fear I associate with him, but because I heard the voice of one who loved me and watched over me as a child. And Papa, taken aback by my tears, seems like he couldn't even begin to get mad or scold me. Though it was only much later that I realized this. Fetch. Holy crap. Dang, these voice actors, man, they're so freaking good. So much emoting in that. It feels so real. And the context is just so good. Like, I hate that guy, you know, I hate him, but like, can't believe it. This is gonna be a weird story, but holy crap. Okay, come on. I'm a brave boy. I'm a brave boy. Manly tears can't take me this time. I think I'm gonna end though. I need to process this a little bit. Just give me a break. Lots happened there. We launched into a new chapter where we're bringing the old band back together, it seems. But my gosh, can you imagine? My face feels numb. I think I was holding my breath. Dang. Poor Kurisu. Poor everybody. Everyone's life sucks right now. It sucks. I have no idea what's gonna happen here, but man, this could be crazy. Man, anyway, yeah, we're gonna continue this next week. We're gonna continue this and we're gonna move forward. We're gonna see how the heck this is gonna all resolve itself. 'Cause oh my gosh, what a nightmare. But we'll see it through to the end. We'll see it through. It's gonna be okay, right? It's gotta be okay. We'll figure things out. We're gonna make it alright. It's gonna be okay. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel. I appreciate you spending your time with me and being able to share these experiences. Please let me know, what you thought and your thoughts about this part of the story. Oh, I feel like I've just been running. I'm gonna go really think things through a bit. 'Cause that was just pure emotion episode. We're gonna be okay though. There's gotta be some way out of this. So anyway, thank you so much for being here, and until the next video, watching me, have to see me next. I'll see you there.